Okay, one question I get asked is why do skill moves not work? Now, first of all, skill moves are actually different for every different person with a different controller settings. Now, what I mean by that is, so I just want to give you a quick example, right? So I'm just going to go to the main menu. This is very, very important. There's two things people always mistake. Okay, number one, if you have customized controls, so for example, like here, I've got custom controls. As you can see, these are the old school ISS PES controls. So when I then go back out to basic controls, if I, for example, go to defending, you can see that my buttons are completely different from yours. So you can see, for example, my clearance is X, my shoulder, for example, my hard tackle, my tackle is X. So for you, this would be circle. So whatever controller settings you use, whatever you set up over here, the game is smart enough to know and remap these. So, for example, as you can see, my shooting is square, yours is circle. So it's the same thing with skill moves. So if you're wondering why certain skill moves are not working, it could be different depending on your remap. So, for example, my run button is R1. So, for example, this might be L for you might be L2 and R1. So some of these buttons they change depending on what buttons you use. The second thing is depends on which way you're facing. Now, this is a big common issue. A lot of people always forget. You go to the main menu, go to learn to play, and then go to the practice arena. What I want to do is I want to put my controllers on a screen so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Now, even though I'm using customized controls here, I'm actually going to remap these to classic. So what I'm going to do here is bear with me 1 second. So you can see these controls, because on the arena you can't unfortunately use controllers, otherwise I wish you could have an input, but you can't. So we go back to here. Okay, beautiful, it's working. So I'm actually pressing square now to shoot, but it's showing circle on the bottom. That's because I've just set the remap, so just ignore this. So let's say, for example, a simple skill move, let's say one that doesn't, it's the same no matter what you do, is a La Croqueta. L1 and you hold the right analog stick to the left and to the right. Now, when you look at the settings, it only tells you from this perspective. So if I go over here to the camera, we're going to put this to end, or even better, let's go to pro, because this is what the old school kickoff camera angle is. So you can see, for example, like here, to do, if I go back here to the middle of the pitch, to do a La Croqueta, I hold the L1 and I hold my right analog stick to the player's left or to the player's right. But you see, that's because the camera angle is facing forward. If I then change the camera angle, and let's say I go back to, let's say, co-op, which is what you're using in a normal match, or you can use tele, whatever you want to do. If I do the same controls here, it doesn't work, because now the player's left and right has changed. So now, because I'm looking from left to right, the player's left is upwards and the player's right is downwards. So whereas before I had to hold L1 plus R stick to the player's left or to the player's right, that is when the camera was behind the player, so I could see the player. But now the camera, as you can see, is from left to right. So that means that I have to now do it like this for the La Croqueta. You see that? So I'm going up and down to go left and right. And this also depends on the angle. So for example, if you're running, let's say for example, I'm facing now towards goal. So let's say in terms of a clock, let's say that's 12. I'm facing towards 2 o'clock, for example, in theory. I will do L1 plus the La Croqueta, but this time it would be like this. So it would be diagonal. So I'll be moving, so you can see like this to like this. So I'm like kind of aiming like at 7 o'clock and 1 o'clock. So it depends. And this is why a lot of people struggle to do skill moves like the ball roll, because the ball roll, for example, yeah, it's so easy when you're facing forward. But when you're facing at an angle, you have to also do the ball roll at an angle. So you can see like here, I'm doing it down, but like here, I'm doing it to top left. See that? And as you move inside the game, that angle's that's going to be bottom left, that's going to be to the left. So you see those angles, they're constantly changing. So ball here is different from this angle here. So this is something that you need to get in your mindset when you are practicing certain skill moves. So just remember that. And that's why certain and some skill moves may not work. And that is how to set them up. Remember, if you're ever unsure, just go button help and you can always see. So if you remapped your control to something else, you can always see what the buttons are over here. Anyways, hope that helped. Thanks for watching.